Welcome back to the Tiberium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for September 6th, 2020. Now, admittedly, this is a relatively light news week, but the few stories that we got, the bit of information we got, is quite impressive. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So let's get right into it. Starting out, I like to talk about what you can get at Show Z, some of these things that are there and available and coming into stock, and maybe we've talked about it before, but you can get it there now. Coming in stock now is this DX9 G2 version of breakdown of their Montana figure, and it looks okay, it looks good. The cool thing is the price is listed at $59.99, so if you want to pick this up, that's a good price for the DX9 set. In fact, it's rivaling even the much smaller brother, the X Transbots version. Also, DX9 Gabriel, it's showing up. It's going to be $229.99. It's actually incoming. It's saying you can add it to your cart. So, pretty cool. I love that figure. I think he's big, he's beefy. I know that we just saw kind of a clearance sell here at BBTS, but this thing, again, it's kind of hard to get. Price is creeping back up on it, and then $229 I don't think is that bad. It's actually cheaper than I paid for mine originally. And subsequently, the Andreas Scourge G1 cartoon version is coming in. They also have the Swarm Team coming in stock, so you can pick it up there. It is a bit more than if you pre-ordered it. It's now $169.99, still making it a little cheaper than the other places. And when you go to checkout, make sure you click the lower option. There's a secondary option, so the second shipping option, and it will get rid of any additional shipping charge, but it might take even longer, another week or two. So that's a tip from the Tiberium Hangar. So I guess I should have brought this to everyone's attention sooner, and I apologize for that, but Spoiler is getting a reissue, and so this figure is due out actually in October. The rumor is also in October, Fans Toys is putting out their Astro Train, their Thomas, so we'll see if that really works out, but if so, that's awesome. But I think you might be able to check around and still find some places that still have the Spoiler coming into stock. And it would also mean that the secondary prices should drop a bit. So if you missed this one, I truly believe Fans Toys is going to reissue every single one, every single component of both Menasor and their Superion as they go. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. And I wouldn't be paying crazy secondary prices. But I cannot guarantee this. But seeing as they're reissuing Spoiler, and they've already redone Road King, and I think they might have done Maverick, then it makes a lot of sense that they would do them all. But then again, there's no guarantees in life. So we're seeing more pictures of MMC and their Probus, and basically the finishing touch on their set. And I have to say something that I'm a little disappointed in. I'm disappointed that the price went up on this, but I guess we should expect, because price is going up on everything, but these were all like $100 bots. Now they're between $110 and $125, depending on where you get them. I do think this figure looks pretty good, but here is the different upgraded head that you can use. So if you use the upgrade kit, I kind of prefer the original head more myself than the upgraded kit head, but you know, you have choices, you have options there. And this is what it looks like with all of the stuff on the upgrade kit. Again, we've talked about this a lot in the past. This is old news, I guess you could say. But the upgrade kit, I think, makes a huge difference when it comes to this figure. I just really like the bling bling, the extra bling that it brings. But again, you need that extra height, which is still not that much. It adds like what, a half an inch, quarter inch, 3/4 of an inch, or something like that. And every quarter of an inch counts. So here's the foot, and that's another thing, is I think that it was originally engineered with the feet looking a bit small. And now this is where people have a problem, and I'm only touching on this because a lot of people have mentioned this problem to me, that it's supposed to be all-in-one, which it is, and then now they have an upgrade kit, so it's all-in-one plus an upgrade kit. So in the end, it's still almost like other combiners that you add feet and you add hands and those kinds of things too. So there is kind of some negativity surrounding this whole thing. The truth is, you could do it all in one and keep it like that, or you can add the upgrade kit and make it look better. It's your choice. It's still all in one. It's still impressive, but it's probably not going to replace my Zeta just yet. So we got more pictures of 3A or 3-0. Their Soundwave is based off the Bumblebee movie, and this thing looks pretty solid. It looks a lot like what I saw in the movie, and so we're going to see a little bit more of what it can do. And here it is with the Ravage. The Ravage looks good. I am a fan of Ravage. I was wishing I could probably just get just the Ravage so I can add them to my Ravage collection, but I mean, the world doesn't work the way you want sometimes, but looking good. Yes, I don't think that this Ravage is the best looking one. I'm just a fan of it, and I would love to have it. Looking at the Ravage coming out of his chest. Now, it doesn't transform, but this is just showing you pose options that you have. And so, yeah, it does look really good like this, and reminiscent of the 1980s type version of the Bumblebee movie. Now again, they want to use these pictures to show off the posability and how well it poses, what all you can do with this. And so I think that's really where this company shines. The fact that these don't transform and all of that, you can get some great poses out of them, a lot of articulation, and a lot of stability with this figure. Here he is on 1 foot, and I know a lot of figures can't handle 1 foot poses, the vast majority of them, and this one can, and so now they're just showing off. So we're going to get into talking about the meat and potatoes of what's going on in the Legends here, and this does affect a possibility in the future for Masterpiece, in my opinion. This is just my opinion, this is me thinking out loud, but I don't see why this wouldn't work. Magic Square is basically making armor for their Legends Optimus Prime for a white repaint of Prime into a Magnus. Yes, this is a 2.0 version for them, but they're basically putting this armor on this Optimus Prime. Now this is, to me, I think this is all digital renders. Nothing is truly new yet. They don't have the actual prototypes yet, I don't think, but it would make sense. This does look pretty good. I've always thought companies should be doing this, and I'm okay with that. I don't know what the trailer looks like yet. They haven't shown it yet. It's really a fun game of cat and mouse between Magic Square and New Age. We're going to talk about that in a second, but what if they scale this up to put on the white version of their Masterpiece Optimus Prime that's already out? I think it looks good. Does it look good enough to be Masterpiece? I mean, I think it's beating what's already out there, right? Okay, so here's the cat and mouse game with New Age and Magic Square, and New Age is putting out their version of not only an Optimus Prime in white with armor, so an Ultra Magnus, so that's what it is. And it's pretty interesting that it drops the same exact week. In fact, Magic Square led, so the Magic Square came out first, then it was New Age, and it was almost like right on the heels of each other story-wise. And it's interesting how it's going down, how it's playing out, and they're both doing the same thing with the armor. I like that. I like that. They're doing the armor like the G1 toy, like it should be, and they're not making a bunch of sacrifices to have an all-in-one transformation. So, again, I'm on board with that. I mean, what does everybody else think about this? Now, there's not a million pictures out there, so this is the best comparison we're going to get. But looking at these two side to side, again, I'm going to say the same thing I say every single time I compare New Age and Magic Square. I think New Age has great paint, great materials. They know how to present their figure well. I think Magic Square has a little bit better engineering, and maybe the engineering's clunky at times, and maybe it's not the best. But the aesthetic in both modes always looks better with Magic Square, in my opinion. And so with this, we got two options. And again, I don't think Magic Square understands what paint is or how to apply it as well as New Age, which is New Age. So it's the back and forth, the cat and mouse game, who's going to do better. But the only one that has ever shown they have anything in Masterpiece to prove so far is Magic Square. So what else is New Age doing? Well, they're putting out color number 15. I actually have no idea what the colors are, but this white version of their Soundwave is coming, and we don't even have their first version of Soundwave out, and they've announced a whole slew of colors so far: a clear, a gold, the white, the blue, and the metallic, and this EX. We're going to talk about the EX in a little bit. So anyway, this one does come with 3 cassettes, and the cassettes are Rumble in red, Ratbat in deep blue and Ravage in white, so it's kind of all recolored, but I guess Rumble in red would just pretty much be a Frenzy. So we've got pictures of the New Age Soundwave, the EX version. So it's supposed to be extra shiny, looking extra good there. But here it is with a whole bunch of stuff on it, a whole bunch of stickers and paint apps and all of this great stuff. So I don't even know if those are just paint apps or stickers. They do an excellent job with paint and the finishes, so I can't argue that one. And here he is with, I guess, just a more clear picture here. Now it's strange that you could see like the inner thigh and the mechanism works there. I think we get a pass on Legends for stuff like that, but I don't think Magic Square had that. I don't remember my Magic Square having that in there, but then I do have a thigh issue of a Magic Square. And I don't think the tapes are quite as clean, but I think they're going to look more like cassette tapes in the end. And of course, the way they pose for these official pictures here, it's kind of deceiving. You don't know exactly how they look, but I think Magic Square captured exactly what they should look like. But this Ravage might actually be even better than Magic Square's Ravage. And the tape forms are closer to tape forms than Magic Square, but I don't think that they look like cassettes. They're just better rectangles, if you could go that far. But this really showcases, look at the paint. Look at the paint on the pile drivers. That's impressive. That just looks so beautiful. I wish you could mix Magic Square design and the paint from New Age. I know that's a perfect world. We don't live in it, but man, it would be awesome. Let's start off with a little bit of Chuggity Chug stuff here. And if you're upset about this box set and going, man, I should have waited, don't be. I found that it's going to be $500. That's what I'm hearing. See, I can't guarantee that, and I don't see it on any sites officially up for pre-order yet or for sale just yet, but I am seeing that that's the price people are talking about. I mean, this is almost as much of a guess as the PS5 price. Is PS5 going to be $500 or $400 or what's that price going to be? Same guess on this thing. So we've got some Red, the Transformers Hasbro Red, showing up in Canada. Why is this a big deal that it's already showing up? We already heard about it. We knew it. It knew it's coming. I'm surprised it's here this quick. Cause it feels like we just found out about it, what, a month ago, 3 weeks ago, and it's already showing up. Usually announcements like a whole new toy line take a long time to show up. And if it's already hitting Canada, it should be in the US in the next 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. And so it's pretty exciting. But my biggest fear was confirmed that it is small. These figures will not scale with your current Chug very well unless you want everyone else to look like giants. They are only the 6 inches, and currently the Voyager scale is about 7 inches, so they're all an inch short. They don't measure up. I think they look good, though. I think they look fine. I think they're a whole other shelf, which bothers me, and it doesn't surprise me because Hasbro wants to milk you for as much as they could get. But come on, we have to have some sort of interactivity with the rest of the collection that we have. We can't have 11 different shelves of Transformers going on. I was hoping they would be close enough you could fudge it and be okay with it. So we got pictures from Ton of the actual spider mode for Black Arachnia. And I do want to admit that I think this spider mode does look good. Does it look better than the Masterpiece? That is a subjective question. And what do you think? I think it looks better than the Masterpiece as an overall whole to it. And the figure actually looks good itself overall also. Here's another front picture of it. And yes, there are some rudimentary aspects of this. Of course, it's not perfect. So like the Masterpiece would win out in some areas and this would win out in others. We could debate that all day long. That's what a review's for. Also, her bought mode is not too shabby also. Okay, so we do have the Transformers Generations Select Deluxe Cordon and Spin Out set of 2. And I want to say about these, of course they're remolds already, we know that. But it's sort of like a special edition set. More of a Diaclone homage, I believe, in this. But Hasbro Post sold out right away. You can still get them for a couple of dollars more at TF Source. If this is something for you and you're in on this, I would get in on it as quick as you could because these are one of those smaller run kind of things. They've already got the mold, so they're just milking it a little bit. But they do look good, and if you're a sucker for Lamborghinis like me, then you might want to be on this. Next up, we have the Shockwaves Lab, the SL83 upgrade kit for Generation Select's Rotostorm. And it's an upgrade kit for a figure that's a recolor remold of something we've already gotten. But it is cool that we can have these items. Somebody's going to make them. But shouldn't have they been already included with this release? Oh well, we get what we get from Hasbro, and third party fills in the gap. And it shows here that you have kind of the side cannons or guns or extra engines. It's probably extra engine turbines. So this is here so that you could sort of match the G1, I guess. I mean, is this what G1 was? Maybe it is. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be. I actually don't know much about this character. So we're supposed to be getting a Generation 2 Volcanicus. That's the guess on the new Generation Selects character from all of the silhouette and guesswork and all that that's going on. So would we be getting a Volcanicus? Well, what exactly is Volcanicus? Well, it is a set of Dinobots that combine. So let's reuse them and form them into a G2 color scheme. Now it makes a lot of sense because they did do sort of a Christmas tree, a Christmas time color scheme with these, with the blue and the green and the red, and it makes sense to get all that. I'm kind of curious about what color Swoop would be, because I mean he's already kind of blue, but would they be blue or red, or what would they do with Swoop? And then there's another one that never got a recolor. So what would they make those colors to be? I think Sludge didn't get a recolor, if I'm correct. So that's kind of interesting on what all that's going to look like in the end. I think it's a good idea, but I, again, don't like the fact they made these combine because they made them not as good of figures to put the combining mechanisms in. I got a couple of fun things to talk about before we get into Star Wars, but first of all, look at my blurry picture. I can't believe I took such a bad picture, my blurry picture of this target. If you could look up at the very top of the picture, you see some a lonely G.I. Joe hanging up there that's been there for about 2 weeks, so I guess G.I. Joe's not such a big deal. What? And then next to that is a Ghostbuster figure. It's been there forever. And then you look down, and that's the Transformers section and the G.I. Joe section. So there are some Transformers there, some stuff there that's pretty cool. I mean, you get the 2-pack showing up everywhere. That's awesome. But you look all the way at the bottom, you're going to see a movie masterpiece that's going to sit there forever. And I'm going to look at it every time because it's been there every day I've been there. And I just thought, man, how long is this thing going to sit here? $150, and it's going to sit for a long time. And that's all there is to it. I see nobody with real interest in these at Target. And I do think for the movie masterpiece, $150 is a high price point for one of the movie masterpiece figures. Usually they're right around the $100 or a little bit more than that. So $150 is, I think, a premium price for them. But then you look up, there's no Baroness. There never is a Baroness there. And I don't know how it is in your neck of the woods. Now, on the other hand, Mattel knows how to fill out a shelf. Mattel just stocks these things to the gills. Like just all of these figures for this new Origins, it's amazing how well they're showing up at distribution in Walmarts. At first it trickled in, and then it hit with full force, and everybody get everything they want. That was really awesome. That's really cool. That's how a company should handle a toy line. Shouldn't be this, each store gets one case, and some of the cases only have one character in it. No, you should get like 5, 6, 10 cases like they did in our Walmarts. Another fun story that is popping up around the internet and the interwebs is that in Chile, they found a warehouse find of 1980s toys. Now, it's mostly Mask, and then there's a bunch of other little toy lines in there, but we're going to look at this. These are some of the items that have shown up, but they didn't just show up one figure or one each. They showed up in cases, right? So, finding a case of each of these is so amazing. It's like an archaeological dig. It's fabulous that they found all these. I'm thinking, wow, that's awesome. Like, what would this do to the secondary market to get 12 of each of these hitting eBay, right? Each of these in a case of 12, and some of them 2 cases, right? What's that going to do to the secondary market prices of these sealed figures? It might drop the price a bit. But what would, I don't know, about 100 cases of each. That's how many they found. That is how many they found. I actually contacted the guy that's in charge of distributing these, and he did notify me that they can only get out a couple of cases of each per week. And so it's going to take a while until some of the restrictions are lifted to get these out to people. So right now, they're actually charging about $1,000 to get 5 new mint and package vehicles, but the old price was $400 per vehicle, so it was $2,000. It's kind of half off in a way. But once this hits in full force, this stuff is actually going to really run the value down. But who cares? If you're a collector, you want it. Now you get what you've always wanted for a reasonable price. So getting into some Star Wars news here, it's pretty cool that Entertainment Earth is showing that you can get some older figures for a lot cheaper, just basically the MSRP. There's going to be a lot of pre-orders going up over there, so check them out. But the figures are going to include the Clone Commander Wolf Black Series, the Commander Gree Black Series, which was, Commander Gree was a Toys R Us exclusive, so that shows you how long ago that was. Grievous, if you missed out on Grievous, you can pick them up now. And then Gamorrean Guard, Black Series, Cara Dune, the Vintage Collection, and the Mandalorian from the Vintage Collection, which, by the way, my Mandalorian from the Vintage Collection hasn't quite made it in yet from where I ordered it, but it's still, I mean, theoretically on its way, right? But so there's a lot of stuff that you could pre-order from there and get them soon, hopefully, and it's older figures. But again, all these reissues, to me, kind of get in the way of today's business. So what exactly is today's business? What would you rather have other than figures you already had a shot at and chose not to buy, and now you decide you want to buy them? Well, the Armorer is rumored to be coming out eventually, or soon, and the nickname for this one is Star Wars BL Convention Exclusive for Sawyer, and with Sawyer being coded for the Mandalorian series. And so this is sort of still guesswork, but hey, makes a lot of sense. This character played a big role in The Mandalorian, spoiler, right? And then again, rumor report on Razor Crest. I gotta tell you, a lot of rumors are just basic common sense. I mean, why wouldn't they make a Razor Crest? It doesn't make sense. It'd be like going all the way through all of vintage Star Wars and never making a Slave One. Like, that never would have happened. That's almost impossible. So not making a Razor Crest is going to be impossible. But the question is, it's the Vintage Collection. Will it be a mainline, or will it be the HasLab project? We haven't really heard about the HasLab project yet, but maybe a little bit more to come that here in a minute. But we have some confirmation on some more figures. So we've got Wave 27 of the Black Series, which will be Cad Bane, will be Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi, the Sawyer, the Armorer, the Mandalorian, the Leia Organa from the Return of the Jedi, so that would probably be a Poncho, of course. The Han Solo Return of the Jedi, Incinerator Trooper from the Mandalorian, Unidentified Clone Trooper from the Clone Wars, and then Hoth Rebel Trooper from Empire Strikes Back yet again, and that's a repack of an army builder. Makes sense, Wave 27. This sounds like a really good wave to me. This is today's business, getting along with the business. Now, again, all of this stuff, I think they're going to cover the vast majority of this on September 25th, 26th at HasbroPulseCon.com. And so kind of everything that's getting canceled with conventions that are getting canceled, Hasbro is going to do more of this direct to the actual fan base through these cons that they've got going on. So this is something to look forward to. There's going to be a lot of information, I hope. Hopefully it's not just everyone getting excited about nothing or fake excitement from Hasbro about nothing. I think it's going to be all this stuff that's rumored, that's going to come out, they're going to bring it to light. Now, they did say they were going to talk about the HasLab by August. So it was either July or August. Here we are, September. They haven't officially announced what HasLab is. Everyone's still questioning and wondering what it's going to be. And I feel like by this date, we'll know what HasLab is. And lastly, with Star Wars, one big event is this whole Galaxy Edge display that's set up at your local Target, and I wasn't really too excited about it, and I kind of missed out on getting me a Hondo figure, so I kind of would have liked to have had a Hondo figure. That's really the only thing that I was missing that I would have enjoyed having, because I've already got this Falcon. I think I have 3 of them, so I didn't really want a 4th one and I didn't want to spend 400. I never spent 400 on the first one in the first place. But there's people out there that are happy to spend 400 on this thing, so great. I'm glad you get that Falcon. And as for the figures, well, of course, by the time anyone gets there to take a picture of it, the figures are long gone. I didn't even know they had figures out in my display. They were gone so fast. But how was your experience? So anyway, that's this week's weekly news and review. What do you think about all of this great stuff? What else happened out there this past week that I missed? Because I'd really like to know if something slipped through the cracks and slipped through my fingers. Please let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe to Darren Hanger. Out.